Hey guys, Steve here at Beat Small Stakes, and welcome to this week's episode of our poker video vlog where I answer questions you guys email me. And if you don't know how to get on my email list, just go to beatsmallstakes.com and sign up for the free training. You'll automatically be on my email list and you can shoot me a question anytime. So I recently received an email from Dan, one of our masterclass members, who unfortunately lost $1,000 in a recent session. He's actually a Las Vegas local and he hasn't been able to play much due to work. He had a free night recently and he went out to the casino and was applying controlled chaos. And even though he ended up losing $1,000 in that session, mostly due to bad beats, what we'll get into here, he came out of it feeling so great, so confident, and so in control. So I just wanted to share this with you because we all know that there's no 100% foolproof way to always win at poker. What controlled chaos does is it gives us this perfect, aggressive, unpredictable, wild, crazy table image that other people, especially in small stakes games, just don't know how to adjust to. And once we see how they start to react to our style of play, we can assign them to one of our 6 player types that we cover in masterclass and my training, part of character mapping, and how people react to all that pressure we put on them. We put them in one of those 6 buckets, and then we know exactly how to play against them. And at that point, they're basically playing their cards face up. And what happened here with Dan in this session is something that I have explained in other trainings, and that is you can do everything right with control chaos. I like to say you're kind of like the movie director and you're giving everyone at the table a script. And and they're basically, depending on which player type they are, they start to just read that script and play exactly like you thought they would. And you're running the table and you're setting the stage, you're setting hands up and building this reputation, this crazy table image, so you can cash in on it when you make really big hands and get away with all sorts of bluffs and just use pure aggression to run over the table most of the time. Now, what does happen sometimes is you set everything up perfectly. You've been playing really aggressively and 3-betting people with our core 34 range for hours. They think you're crazy. They're getting tired of you bullying them. And they take a stand with a medium strength hand and say, you know what? Good enough. I'm going to shove it all in. I'm sick of this guy pushing me around. And sometimes when they have just a few outs left and all the money goes in, they get there and you'll lose. And so I wanted to share this email from Dan to make sure we communicate that, of course, controlled chaos isn't a guaranteed win every single time. Yes, you're going to be miles and miles above your competition as far as your understanding of the game and your control and how you're able to manipulate your opponents with your aggressive and unpredictable style of play. So here's Dan's email. Hey Steve, I thought I'd tell you how I did. Unfortunately, I lost $1,000. I lost 5 huge pots on the river, lol. But he goes on to say, I never felt more comfortable playing. In one hand, he had trip 10s. He got it all in against another player 2 pair. And it sounds like he 2-outed him. He had a 4% chance. He has 1 card to come. That's about 4 or 5% equity on the river. And that guy got lucky. He's saying if I didn't lose those 5 times on the river, I could have won $2,000 to $3,000, maybe more, because he picked up so many hands he shouldn't have won. And that's why I always say with controlled chaos, you're going to win so many pots you don't deserve to win. You're going to feel guilty after a while just stealing pot after pot. Those small, medium pots where you raise pre-flop or you 3-bet or squeeze pre-flop and you throw a C-bet, maybe you pick up some equity on the turn, you fire again on the turn, and people fold top pair to you because they just don't want to deal with your aggression. They don't want to take a stand unless they have a really big hand. Those are the kind of hands Dan's talking about here. So those hands that he was winning that he didn't really deserve to win, it sounds like he's saying he won $1,400 altogether in just those 5 spots. He says he never squirmed or got upset and made the right reads, the right bets, and he felt that in any other night where the Miracle River cards weren't killing him, he would have killed them. And he goes on to say here, they had no idea what I was coming in with, why I bet $45 with nothing and won because they were so confused. After I showed my bluff, they all called whenever I needed them to. And that's where I explained too the importance of advertising your hand to build that reputation, to build that crazy table image, especially early on in the session before you've had a lot of showdown hands. If you're running over the table, you show a big bluff and people say, wow, what is this guy doing? Or if you keep winning pot after pot, you can show a value hand, and that lets you get away with even more bluffing until you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Or you win a huge pot with a mediocre hand that you've raised or 3-bet with, and then people really don't know what to think about it. And then you can switch gears for a while, tighten up, and go for value with your value hands for a while before you switch gears back to playing really crazy. He goes on here to say, you should have seen the guy short circuit when I had the winning hand and I bet $100 after the river and I made it look like a bluff. And of course he called. And he wraps up by saying, I lost the battle tonight, but I feel like I'll win the war. I've never felt so in control as I did tonight. I'll play again. I can't wait. With even a normal night, I would have killed it. So Dan definitely has the right attitude here. And kudos to you, Dan, for seeing the big picture. So with this week's lesson, I just want to drive home that you're going to have some short-term pain. That's just mathematical variance in poker. And controlled chaos is a higher variance style. So we're introducing more variability, more variance, more swings with our aggression, with our bigger bets, with bigger pots, and just ramping up the aggression overall. And people are going to react more strongly against us. And most of the time in small stakes games, players at the table aren't going to figure out and know how to play against you. You're going to run over them, but every now and then when variance kicks in, you're going to lose a big pot, a huge pot here and there. But most of the time, an overwhelming amount of the time, you're going to be the one winning those huge pots. I want to give you a quick example of a recent hand that I lost in a cooler situation. Very similar to what Dan just went through. Just to demonstrate controlled chaos, you can do everything right. But every now and then, the poker gods just say, no, this one's not for you. So here I am in the cutoff with pocket eights. We have an early position limper, a call. I pop it up to 20. This is 1-3 no limit, nine-handed. And the original limper calls, as does the low jack. And boom, we flop middle set. There's a diamond draw out there, an ace high board. We're hoping one of these guys has an ace. We'd love for him to have two pair. And it's check to us, and we bet out about 2/3 pot here, pretty standard. You see we're 98% to win. This is the equity right here in real time. And the under the gun +1 calls, low jack folds. Turn is a 10 of spades, giving the under the gun +1 2 pair. And he checks to us, and we're not really afraid of anything here. There's a teeny chance this guy limp called with aces, but obviously anything else he has, we love, unless he just happened to turn trip tens. So we're going to bet 125, pretty chunky here on this turn. And you're going to see this a lot from bad amateurs in small stakes when they have a big hand, a hand they really like. They're going to min raise you or min check raise you. So he just does what we call clicking it back. He min raises us. And at this point, there's a diamond draw out there. We are probably putting him on something like two pair, maybe pocket twos. And if he was a trickier player, which he's not, we could put him on something like queen jack of diamonds or something like that just to try to put pressure on us. But he's not a super advanced player. He's playing very ABC, and that's driven home by the size of his min raise here on the turn. So with just one card to come here, we are just going to shove here just in case he does have diamonds. So you see here, we are 91% equity to win the hand. He's about 9% because he has two pair. So he has two tens and two aces that will save him and make him a full house that beats us. And that equates to about 8 or 9% equity. So all the money goes in, he ends up calling, and what happens? One of the four cards hits. It's going to happen. In this case, it was a 9% chance of getting there. It's going to happen. It sucks horribly as I watch the dealer shove $1,500 at 1-3 over to my donkish opponent. This just happens. It's the poker gods. It's variance. There's nothing you can do about it. I set this hand up perfectly by lots of aggressive playing for the few hours leading up to this hand. And unfortunately, when all the chips ended up going in, I got 4 outed. So in closing, I just want to drive home that with controlled chaos, we can control the action. We can manipulate our opponents and get them to do what we want. And we can classify them into 6 different buckets and have a very good idea of what they're going to do and then play optimally against that. But every now and then, variance is going to kick in and there's nothing we can do about it. Dan was doing everything right. He built the perfect table image and he was all set to get paid off. It just didn't work out with the poker gods this time, even though he was a huge mathematical lock in most of these hands. So on most nights, Dan's going to walk away from this session a $2,000 or $3,000 winner, but variance got him this time, but it's not going to get him most of the time. And that's what I teach you in the free training and in the masterclass where we go deeper into how to build your table image and use it like a weapon. So you can have these types of sessions where you're in complete control of the table, you're manipulating all of your opponents and you know what they're going to do, and you're just setting them up for the right spots. Every now and then you're going to lose a cooler. They're going to 2, 3, 4 out you here and there, but most of the time you're going to walk away a huge winner when you get in these right spots and you've built your table image the right way. So if you haven't seen the free training yet, go ahead and sign up for that at beatsmallstakes.com and you'll learn about how you can join the masterclass as well. And you'll get on my email list so you can shoot me a question and maybe be featured on next week's poker video vlog. All right, hope you found this helpful. See you next week.